All right, please excuse the hoarseness in the voice. It's been a long day, and I've been doing a lot of recordings over the last 24 hours. And I want to talk a little bit about this larger picture that relates to this holographic universe and what I believe to be the truth and what I believe to be important. And although we're physical beings in a physical reality, this is much more about what's going on with the body. And there's an overemphasis that I still see out there in the world on what's going to happen to our bodies and what's going to happen within this physical realm. Questions people, I would say, obsess upon at times in an unhealthy way. When is the world going to wake up? When are people going to wake up? When is this going to stop? Why is it happening? How are we going to win? When are we going to win? What's going down in 10 years? What's going down in 20 years? Now, I feel inside myself, inside my own memories, that I've had previous lifetimes on this planet and that certain karmas followed me, and there are certain things that I have learned in previous lifetimes that I've brought into this lifetime. There's certain activities that I have partaken in over the years of my lifetime that at the moment of learning something or partaking in a new activity or exercise, my body will recognize, my consciousness will recognize that this is familiar, be it a physical activity or an idea, a truth, a spiritual concept. And there's a lot of things that are difficult to put into words. And there's a lot of things that are beyond words. For example, consciousness. I mean, what is consciousness? We hear these terms a lot. Consciousness, collective manifestation, collective visualization. And some people over time get bored with just hearing the words and they miss the idea, the point. That this isn't about these words that at times may seem to be cliche. It's the energy behind it, which is beyond words. And when we think about consciousness and the evolution of our own personal individual shift from where we were to where we're going to go, that is a very personal thing. We're all at different levels in this matrix, in this holographic universe. And we're all here to learn different lessons. We're all here to work out different levels of karma. And I believe it's important to realize that we're at where we're at the moment because of what we did in the past, wherever we came from. And I see so much evidence that the light and the dark, as diverse and abstract as it is, I see all the different unique ways that it manifests in human behavior, human consciousness, which I believe is an indicator that we as human beings come from all over this galaxy. And this realm, this earthly realm, this physical realm has been deliberately terraformed by the Creator to allow the souls that live on the earth now and in the past and also in the future to learn basic things about reality. Cause and effect is a major aspect of the learning experience. Learning about what comes about from our creations, be they positive creations or negative creations. We get to see the fruits of our actions, whatever they may be, in this physical reality. There's also a lot of confusion out there that I want to give my perspective on. Why do good people suffer? Why do tyrants and others seem to be able to expand their empire of darkness and wickedness and control upon other populations. When is their karma ever delivered to them, if there is such a thing as karma? This is something people ask. And when we're looking at the big picture, when we're looking at a soul's journey from one lifetime to another lifetime, I believe that the type of reality that we incarnate into is a result of our actions from the past. Now, this has been echoed in many, many spiritual teachings for thousands and thousands of years from all over the world. For myself, though, experiencing some of these truths on an inner level, a gut feeling, a intuitive knowing, if you will, something that feels right. I can see a world that may seem to be to some imperfect, but in a way may be more perfect than what we currently are able to understand with the physical brains that exist in our cranium. And we need to activate our higher consciousness, which is beyond the brain, to be able to understand a reality, perceive a reality, comprehend a reality, and lifetimes beyond this. So when I look at certain people with certain abilities, certain knowledge, I recognize at times on an intuitive level that was brought in from somewhere else. At the same time, and this is not to make any easy explanation, create an easy explanation or an easy excuse for why certain horrible crimes happen to certain people. But haven't you ever wondered what happens to those souls in prior eons and ages? Those that raped and pillaged for the empire. What happens to those souls? Is it true that when we die, there is only a singular heaven and a singular hell? Or is it more complex than that? When we examine the possibility that there are more and more planets every single day that scientists are discovering that are capable of harboring life, planets where there's water on the surface, which is necessary for physical life. And when we know how much we don't know, how are we to say that there aren't other planets out there in this galaxy or other galaxies where there are physical forms similar to human beings and also other forms of life that look nothing like human beings? And I think that there's a larger interconnected web of souls that may go beyond what we identify or understand to be human souls. When I meet people, especially in the field that I'm in, and the travels that I've undertaken, and the people that I've talked to over the years, the people that I've interviewed, some of the alternative media figures that I've personally met, you feel this exchange of energy in the physical form, but also when you're just simply speaking to them and you're hearing their sound acoustics from their voice. You're tapping into truly the voice of the soul at times, a part of your consciousness when you connect with another person. And there's a part of us, there's a part of you that understands where they're at. There's a part of you that understands where my soul is at. For those of you that have come to know me on a deep level, you see my triumphs, you've seen my struggles. A lot of you know where I'm at, and you know where I'm trying to go. And I can also feel this energy from those that are listening. It's like this soul group family. That there is a larger family that's beyond your genetic family. That's a soul family that is here on earth at this time, working selflessly in an effort to make the world a better place. And some people have a very good understanding, a very well-rounded understanding of the larger spiritual picture. Others do not, but they're at their own level in this evolutionary step forward to where we truly need to go. And I've talked about the sun. The sun in this physical reality is a catalyst for evolution, spiritual understandings, new ideas being introduced to not only Homo sapiens, our species, but new energy coming into the planet that affects all aspects of life, the plants, the animals, everything on life, everything in life is affected by the sun. The great catalyst in this physical reality. The sun, I believe, is also a means of transportation via solar flares, coronal mass ejections, etc., for souls entering and exiting the planet through the act of murder. For example, all the wars that take place during the peaks in solar activity, but also the births that occur through the increased act of sex, which more people are involved in the act of sex during solar activity. So there's something very powerful about influences like the sun on the transference of souls in and out of the planet. And this is really an abstract short video that I'm making because these are ideas that I want to introduce, and it's the idea that there are no victims in what could be a more perfect matrix than what we're currently aware of. That which we have done to others comes back to us in some form, shape, or manner. And it may be the destiny of certain souls to come to earth to clean up bad karma that they created in the past. And there may be other souls that are working with them that for whatever reason, based on wherever they've been and whatever they've learned in prior lifetimes, they seem to understand quite a bit about this new world order system and the non-human influence coming from another dimension that is controlling this modern Roman Empire, which of course is not limited to the United States. For those of you that are longtime listeners, it involves China, it involves Russia, it involves the European Union, it involves Mexico, it involves Canada, it involves many countries around the world. It even includes many countries in the Middle East that are supposedly against the Anglo-Saxon New World Order. So things are not as they seem. And when we want to talk about solutions, we need to understand that we need to be grounded in reality as we look at practical solutions, not wild goose chases, and attaching ourselves emotionally to an outcome where we all collectively shift and the world fixes itself, because that does not take into equation the multiple lifetimes that some of us have had to undertake to learn what we've learned. And there's a reason why we're in the earth plane. There's a reason why we're here. This is not an accident. We're not an accident of biology. We're certainly not a virus. However, the human species at times appears to behave like a virus. When humanity is disconnected from its spiritual self, its spiritual center, disconnected from the heart, and when humanity is led astray and taught to dominate nature and use nature for their own personal, selfish purposes, when mankind is at war with itself because it's been programmed to be self-destructive. In that circumstance, those aspects of humanity that act in that manner are behaving like a virus. But we are not all of the same consciousness here on the earth. This is a very interesting petri dish of souls that I believe are from all over this motherfucking galaxy and from all different timelines. So there is a convergence of souls on a large level that are here on the earth at this time. And some